Hello everyone, it's Boni here. We're back. This is just a short video. I just want to take the community through. If you look at the market as it stands today, Bitcoin is well under 90,000 US dollars. In fact, as I'm looking at it now, it's around about $87,500. And this has been a serious retracement on Bitcoin against what we would have expected would have taken place, knowing that the announcement, which was supposed to have been done today, which was done yesterday through an executive order via President Donald Trump's administration on the strategic reserves on Bitcoin, that now is being legalized by all the necessary steps are being taken by the American or the Trump administration. So the announcement was made yesterday. The executive order was done. But the question that maybe a lot of us would be interested in is what happened? Why wasn't the expected hype the way that it was supposed to have been? So if we go and look at what took place, the biggest issue that we had as a problem in the announcement is the fact that the US government or the announcement said there is no acquisition of new Bitcoin that will take place. In fact, it's the Bitcoin that is currently in the US reserves. And this is why you see the price action, it actually moved from roundabout 90, above 90, all the way to the $86,000. And now you are seeing like the movement, the choppy movement around $87,000. We will talk about the second item. But really the reason that this was a huge impact, it was a huge impact on the basis that the market expected the volume to climb, because now the US government would have to go and acquire Bitcoin. And therefore, whatever that is remaining of Bitcoin, the government would have had to go and buy what's remaining or buy out of the market, which means now there would have been a very high demand. The price of Bitcoin would go up. Instead, the announcement was that the US government will keep the Bitcoin that the US government has. It's important to note the following. I would love to also share this. It's what we had discussed in the past, talking about the Bitcoin holdings of various states. So if you look at what we have here, the US is sitting with biggest number of Bitcoins as a country. It's around about 112,000 as we look at it now. The UK with 61,000. If you look at China, China is more than America, 194,000. So if you see what is taking place, there has been an acquisition of Bitcoin, albeit quietly. The only country that has been open about its acquisition of Bitcoin has been El Salvador. We know President Bukele came out in the open and was very supportive of Bitcoin at the time where the Biden administration was totally against Bitcoin. And there were a lot of actions against the crypto industry or crypto market, starting from Gary Gensler, who was the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, to Operation Choke Point 2. On the other side, senators like Elizabeth Warren, all of them attacking the crypto market, whether it's from the Hill, the Capitol Hill, that is Congress, or from the regulator, which is Gary Gensler on the other side, or the executive from the Biden administration. So we came through these difficult times, but President Bukele was totally open about the acquisition and the changing of legislation, and also making sure that Bitcoin is a legal tender in El Salvador. I apologize. So that's why you see that country progressively continue to accumulate. Other countries accumulated quietly, but others have not started. So there's a school of thought that says the announcement last night was because the US wants to go quietly and acquire more Bitcoin rather than to set off now a race of buying the remaining Bitcoin. So we don't know which one is true, but what we do know though, if you look at the number of coins that the US government has vis-a-vis what the gold reserves they had, you would absolutely understand that this is not on par in terms of what the assets would be as a form of reserves for a big economy like the US economy, more especially when President Trump is trying to rebuild the US economy and wants it to be dominant. There will still be an acquisition, albeit it will be a quiet acquisition into the process. So that's what is taking place at the moment. They is still going to be there sitting with the leaders of the crypto industry this afternoon as we speak, and definitely we will get the feedback from those discussions. President Trump will still do that with his administration and advisors. So that's all that I wanted to just share on Bitcoin, just to make sure that the community understands what is taking place at the moment. If you go on social media, you're going to hear many stories of despondent individuals who thought that now they were going to see everything going to the moon. I think that we may start to see a quiet accumulation. We are not in the worst of positions in my interpretation and my views. If I go to the next item, it's been of interest to note that there has been exciting announcements around Sui. Sui has just been listed in an application for an exchange-traded fund, which was applied by Canary Capital. That's what at the moment is taking place on the Sui ecosystem. But of interest also in announcement is the partnership that Sui has just closed out and was announced yesterday between World Liberty Financial and Sui. So you can see the Sui adoption in terms of decentralized finance is of interest to key players. But let's understand, who is World Liberty Financial? World Liberty Financial is an interesting business that the Trumps have an interest on. In fact, they own 75% through one of their businesses called DTMax DeFi LLC. And as a result, all the sons of President Donald Trump are very instrumental in this business. In fact, Rick and Donald Jr. are ambassadors for this. And Baron is the DeFi visionary. That's the positions that they have in this endeavor. And as a result, so I wanted to just share that picture that sort of just shows the holdings that World Liberty Financial has. Now, I'm not saying this is the portfolio you should have, but this is the portfolio that is broken down into a number of these coins that are part and parcel of the holding of World Liberty Financial. Now, I was aware when they were going through the accumulation of Ethereum. And you can see now they've struck a deal with Sui. And therefore, there is an expectation that when President Trump spoke about the reserves of the US and then mentioned XRP, Cardano, and Solana as the other alternate coins against Bitcoin, as well as Ethereum, that will also play a role, he did make mention that others will follow. So there's a view that Sui may be one of the others, but there's quite a number of even Polkadot, Aave. So there's quite a number. You have to follow the narrative for you to decide on what you think is best for you. Irrespective whether Sui is or isn't, if you look at the ecosystem, if you look at the transactions per second on Sui, if you look at the robustness of that ecosystem and how the adoption and how the total value lock, the TVL, is starting to grow. And now there's the announcement with World Liberty Financial, Trump's. And then on the other side, Canary Capital is applying for exchange-traded fund. It means that we must not take Sui lightly. There may be interesting things that Sui would be doing in the future. I'm not advocating for the accumulation on Sui, but I am saying please put Sui in whatever that you have in your watch list so that you follow the developments that are taking place. Okay. The last issue, I just want to end with the impact on tariffs, right? This is one graph I wanted to share with the community, just to get the community to understand Now, this is what the market was looking like in Trump's administration, the first administration. So when Trump was running with tariffs, and even there, it was Mexico, Canada, China, Russia, you name it. Look at what happened to the price action. The price action went down, but that down, it was creating a momentum for a resurgence. Look at what happened in terms of the price action. The expectation on Trump 2 is the graph looks similar. Look at how the graph has gone down, similar to how the graph has gone down. And therefore, if there is a retracement, once there is certainty around the issues of these tariffs, there is a bullish expectation in the market. At the moment, what you are having as a challenge on Bitcoin, yes, there may have been an anticipation that there will be a high accumulation on Bitcoin if the US is going to buy Bitcoin, of which now there's a cooling off in the market. That has not happened. But what also drove the sentiment down was another announcement on the tariffs again, albeit some of the tariffs were delayed by President Trump. And therefore, these things is really creating an uncomfortable market sentiment. In fact, the fear and greed index is sitting at 34, which is in fear range. The indication or the correlation of the first administration and the tariffs at that time, what they did to the market and where we are now, and what I've kept on saying to the community, that this is an accumulation market. This is the market to accumulate, but you dollar cost average in your accumulation. We don't know where, at which point the market will turn. I'm going to post one of the interesting videos sometime next week. And I want to just show the community that there are different schools of thoughts and philosophies in trading. Just like there are different schools of thoughts in anything that is a human endeavor that human beings are involved with. So I would love to make sure, as much as I provide the views that I provide, but I would love to also provide the alternative views just to empower and ensure that the community is able to think outside of the box and therefore we're able to apply ourselves. But it's important to take into account that this is an accumulation market. Do your own research, follow the narratives that you strongly believe in, and take the appropriate action. I'm not providing financial advice, but however, through my research, this is what I believe would assist you to start your own research and build on top of it. Please don't take whatever I say as if it's the absolute truth. Go and test it, retest it. And when you have confidence in your own trading strategy and it's supported by both the fundamental analysis as well as the technical analysis, then you can take the appropriate action. That's all that I wanted to talk to you about in this short episode. I hope that you've taken note of what is taking place in the market. Please don't be despondent, but understand what is taking place behind the news. I wish you all the best and a restful weekend. Bye for now.